recording. All right. It's the Dani Cutler Show on listener-supported independent radio, KWSS 93.9 FM, and always streaming at kwss.org. That's for the people listening on the radio this morning or evening or whatever. I tell you, these Zoom interviews have me all messed up because, I mean, it is Wednesday night right now on Zoom, and I'm talking with this wonderful band, Chrome Rhino, but you are hearing it on Friday morning. Woo!
That's a time warp.
Yes. Hello from the past.
Yes, so welcome to Chrome Rhino. Thank you for being here. I've got Jared and James and Travis and Jay with me. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey,
Thank you
for having us. I feel
Thank
like I
you.
need to be Jimothy though, because everyone else is a J except me.
Yes, there you go. We'll
Okay, I'm Jimothy. All right.
Whatever. Yeah. Whatever you need to be.
Just be it.
Javis doesn't sound right. So,
Jarvis.
I guess you could say Jarvis. We'll just call you
Jarvis.
Jarvis.
Okay.
There we go.
That's it. That's the one.
You know, I really wish, like, well, okay, spoilers, and this may be edited out. I don't know, but like, we were talking about like our singles. You've caught up on WandaVision.
Yep. Oh, I'm as caught up. Yes, because the last episode is Friday. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I'm caught up
tonight. But like, okay, so our first song is Zombie Vision.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And it was like episode 3, and we were like, it's a zombie vision in the show, you know.
It's a sign.
Yeah.
Right? And then I Love You, But I Know You're a Robot. It's like, Marvel, give us some of that Marvel money.
It's like,
seriously,
if they want to use it, yeah, we're more than welcome.
You pretty much wrote it now at this point. You've wrote the script for WandaVision,
we
right?
Did.
Yes.
Little known fact about us. We like to be humble.
Oh my goodness. Well, I am so very glad that you guys are here, and you know, your music is amazing. We premiered Zombie Vision here on the station, and you know, wonderful song, and your whole album is going to be released in a couple of weeks. Yes, March 15th. So yeah. Just over a week or so, week and a half. I have no concept of time anymore. So. March 15th. We'll just stick with that.
Right.
So whoever would like to speak, let's get some background on Chrome Rhino and how it all came together.
Probably Travis might give a good background, because it actually started as one of his side projects for some of his more sort of electronic music.
That's a nice way to say it.
Well, tell us, Travis.
Very strange, drug-addled music, as I think it was like done with an iPad Mini with my finger.
Nice.
So I think James came up with the name, but it was like kind of like a weird electronic pop thing. And then like I think we met Jared at the Rogue Bar. Yep. Rest in peace, at an open mic. And with the agency, Allie and the agency. And we were like, we've all played together. And then we were like, okay, like James and I had a couple like songs we've been kicking around for a while, and we just were like, okay, let's do something. Let's do something with these songs. And then kind of had Jared come in, and we kind of wrote together. Jared, would you say?
Yeah, well, it was kind of funny because it wasn't originally Chrome Rhino when you called me up. It was a working title was Spider Cats, and I was like, no, I don't like that name. But that Chrome Rhino name, that's awesome. Let's do that, please.
More lovable, I think. No, very few people, very little love for a spider cat, but Chrome Rhino is like, people kind of, you know, can they get attached to a rhino more easily than a spider cat, I think.
That's awesome.
They basically had a whole Google Drive full of songs, and they sent it to me, and they're like, which ones of these do you like? Let's record them. Let's get some keys and some drums on them. And we met up, and actually the single, I Love You, But I Know You're a Robot, was the very first song that we worked on. And what kind of happened when we played it is like, I'm kind of obnoxious when I get in the workroom with other musicians, and I just start coming up with too many ideas. And that song just like opened the floodgates. And I'm like, oh, let's put an E flat chord here, and let's add a solo right here that kind of has that same modulation that you have in Sweet Child of Mine. For all you music nerds out there, you will know exactly what I mean when you listen to it. But yeah, and they were somehow actually open to my suggestions, and we just kept meeting up and working on their songs and adding little new things. And then just a bunch of new songs came out of it. And we wrote the full album in about 3 months of just us hanging out and uh, putting everything together, the three of us.
That's so amazing. And so, Jay, because I don't want to leave you there hanging, how did you get involved with everybody? How did they suck you in?
So I'll try not to be too long-winded.
Be
So I
as
met
long-winded
Jared
as you
through.
want.
Yarn it out, mate.
We'll
Yarn it
edit
out.
edit you down.
All right. So I met Jared at an open mic that he used to host in Tempe at the Chop Shop, a little sandwich shop.
Mhm.
And this was back in fall of 2019. So I went there and played piano, and I started doing that every week. I was having a great time with it. And then, of course, in March, we all know what happened. Certain events led to that being canceled. But then Jared decided to experiment and take the open mic onto Zoom. And I was more than happy to participate in that experiment, especially because it made it easy for me to do drum covers. I could just turn on my electronic kit and start and do some drum covers for everyone. And then soon we met this group of other like-minded people in other parts of the country. And we started to have before we knew it, we sort of had a community of, it was like a community virtual open mic that spans from Arizona to Ohio and Massachusetts.
Texas.
And so we basically have a community where we play music for each other every week. And this went on for about 4 months. And then at around that time, it was around August last year, Jared said that Chrome Rhino is trying to start up again, and they're trying to do some live streams in the apartment. And he said that he thought I might be a good fit with my electronic kit. And that's pretty much what happened.
That was it.
We were all very pleasantly surprised that Jay is a very quick study. We all just, sometimes when you introduce a new, you just kind of show, let's see what happens. Let's see how it goes, and we got in, and Jay knew all of the parts. He knew it.
More than we did.
He actually reminded us of the parts that we had done. We're like, oh, that's right, it does go to that part. Okay, yeah, thanks, Jay, for reminding us. And it really fell together very perfectly. So we're very, very lucky in that regard.
Yeah, and
it was definitely one of the best moments of 2020 for me, sitting down in that room playing with these guys for the first time and just like having it sound at least decent. And it was so much fun.
We were maxed up, but we were like, what the fuck? He knows this more than we do. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, we had been playing like acoustic music and things like that up until then, trying to like let's just try and play however we can. And so we were all really starved for like actual loud rock music. So that was a very cathartic moment for all of us, just like freedom again.
No, that's fantastic. And I mean, what I love even more about it is that it all happened because Jared put this Zoom open mic night together. You took this horrible situation and everybody scrambling, trying to figure out, what do I do with my life now? What is happening? And everybody at the beginning, I think, is in agreement that it was just so like confusing and just, having practically the world stop and everybody's plans just, on hold. But to take that and to just pivot, as I like to say, pandemic pivot is, I love that term and I use it all the time. People are probably sick of it by now, but I love it.
Beautiful term.
But to use that and to form something else, I mean, and look what it brought you, it brought you the final member of your band. And I think that's fantastic. So
and it's crazy. It's still going on. We do it almost every Wednesday for almost a year now.
That's
and
crazy.
I've made new friends all across the country and a few across the pond. There's this little community. We have this group chat on Facebook that just keeps getting bigger as people in our group go to other virtual open mics and kind of find the people who are interesting and cool and bring them into the fold. And then if you want to go to a virtual open mic, you just kind of look at the chat and there's probably someone hosting one almost every day.
That's so wonderful. That's honestly one of the things that that's an element I don't want to go away when things are as normal as they can be again, at least when live music, is fully back, which it will be. I want the online element to stay, whether it's open mics or, live streams or whatever. I really think that should be an element that doesn't go away, because it's brought so many people, across the country and across the globe. It's brought so many people together that you never would have met without this, thanks COVID. I don't know.
Very
Constant search for silver linings there, right?
You have to. I think
Exactly.
we've all needed to do that. And yeah, now we're on a year of it. I was just thinking, next weekend, the weekend of the 13th, was my last live show, which was the my anniversary show.
I was there
at Fakao, yeah, because Ali A played.
Wow.
So yeah, so I mean, it's crazy to think about. So Chrome Rhino formed before everything shut down, before you had your last piece in J. I mean, how was that for you at first to be like, okay, we got this new band, we're ready to go, and then it's like breaks?
The timing was kind of crazy, actually.
It almost worked out well. We had just finished recording everything with Bob Hogue, and right at the moment when everything started shutting down, Bob needed to kind of work on the mix anyway. So that was actually like a shining light in the middle of just all this craziness. We were just like, oh, news from Bob. Let's go and listen to the mix, let's hear it, and it was this, it was, Christmas Eve all of a sudden, just like, let's download it, let's listen to it. And, so that worked out. But in terms of getting people to hear it and putting things together, uphill battle with everything, because we're like, well, let's give it a little time and let's give it a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes, and let's keep seeing how it goes. And
Yeah.
like, I'm sure that's probably very familiar to most bands in the same situation. But
Yeah, and it's been up and down. Like during that kind of lull in between the June spike and the November-December one, we started meeting up and practicing, and we did a live stream around Halloween, and then we're like, oh yeah, we'll meet up, we'll do a live stream every month. But then the cases got really bad, and we're like, well, now even all of us hanging out in my apartment, it probably isn't a good idea just yet. And we're just finally getting back to actually meeting up as a band. Travis and James have this recently got a house that's a bit more spacious, and we can keep it the air open, and
has a nice outdoor area.
Oh, good. You won't bother the neighbors at all.
No, they love us. I wonder why I have that cracked windshield though. That's
Yeah.
weird.
Who's leaving nasty notes on my car?
I have to do a shout out. I'm sure none of my neighbors are actually listening to this, but the fact that I've been able to have all the music that I've had in this apartment and with zero complaints from my neighbors, it has been like, I don't know how I would have survived the past year without it.
They sound like really awesome neighbors then, just from that alone. So
Yeah, especially with me bringing it was an electronic kit, but still, I don't hold back when I play it. So,
right.
Oh, funny. Well, tell me about the album. It's being released on March 15th. What's the name of the album?
I think they're after me.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
So not paranoid at all.
No.
It's funny because the song, we got that lyric from Zombie Vision, and we wrote that song. The granules of that song are almost 10 years old. We wrote that, just we were watching They Live, and we kind of we were a big fan of that movie, so we kind of wrote a song based on it. Very different back then. It was a much slower, kind of shambling, kind of different kind of vibe. But then when we kind of played it again with Jared, we're like, let's kind of speed it up a little bit. And then after the post pandemic though, we're back listening to the lyrics, just like, wow, this actually kind of really quite sums up a lot of the feelings and like emotions going into this time period right now.
We knew we were writing an ode to 2020.
Right. So, we thought let's embrace that sort of feeling of sort of paranoia and sort of misplaced anxiety and just generalized fear, and just kind of make that the theme of the album. So we kind of leaned into that with this one.
Yeah, we loved horror movies and ended up living in one. So
I'm really glad I didn't see any zombies. I'm just gonna say
I know.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
yes.
Fingers crossed. You know, let's.
I would not do well in a zombie apocalypse. I would not.
No.
No, I would be one of the first. I did five jogs today, like just 5 steps. I was like,
I don't think that's the unit of measurement for jogs.
no, like this isn't a jog.
If it is a zombie apocalypse, I think that the ones with accents are the first out. So I think we're all very grateful there's no zombies.
There we go. There we go. So let's talk about the single. So I Love You, But I Know You're a Robot. How does this fit into your theme in the album? What's it about?
So,
well, I don't even know how we wrote that one.
So I kind of remember we did. So we were. I think this is another one we kind of did quite a while ago. This was kind of we grew it out from just like this loop that I was playing that was kind of half the Cars and half Mark Bolan, and we kind of just had it all just on the same chord for a long time. It was really just more about that sort of the Cars rhythm, trying to keep that going. And but when Jared kind of came along, he helped us kind of take it in some interesting directions so that it felt more like a song. Up until then, it was really just kind of a groove that we were kind of playing around with.
It was 25 minutes originally too, which
so 25 minutes of
we need to cut that down.
a little bit.
Yeah, 14 minutes of that was bass solo.
That's a bass solo.
It was ponderous.
I've never heard this version. You have to show me.
No one ever will. No one.
That's what I'm playing. I'm playing the 25-minute uncut
Little do you
original.
know.
Except right now, yeah.
Red band version.
Because hey, it's the last day of my show. Yeah. I didn't tell you I was retiring, right? No, I think that's really cool. And I mean, that just is a testament to how finding your bandmates in Jared and Jay, it helped bring those elements to your music. And it's almost like a writer's block in a way, I guess. You have this, but you don't really know what to do it. But then you get like new eyes and new ears on it. And then boom, you have your song. So I think that's fantastic.
Definitely.
It kind of seemed like the whole album was kind of like this. Like we would have bits and pieces, or Jared would have bits and pieces, and then we'd be like, all right, let's all just like sit and like jam a little.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the end, like I remember like Swamp Daddy in particular. That was one where Jared, I think you had a lot of that, and we just sat there one night drinking beers, and it was like,
oh no, actually, I didn't have any of that.
Really? Was that all that night?
We were jamming on "I Love You, But I Know You're a Robot," and actually, everyone once you hear the album, you will hear this. But I was just messing around, and it's like, oh, I should end this on this like dial tone kind of sound, like the bottom of the keyboard on the synth. And I started playing that, and then Travis started playing this really funky bass riff.
That's right.
And literally, the like verse and chorus of that song just happened spontaneously in that jam. And I just had this moment where I was like, we need to write all of this down because like something is flowing here. And we probably had the entirety of that song written instrumentally in like 45 minutes to an hour. It was crazy. And then I went home and I wrote lyrics and brought them back for that song.
Nice. That's
But yeah,
amazing.
that was when I knew that this band was going to be like such an incredible project to work in, because like we were having so much fun on the songs that were already there, but when a song just spontaneously arises in rehearsal, that's when you know like something's working between.
Right. We're a real band now.
Real band.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so great. Okay, so I'm going to ask all of you. I'll start with Jay. What is your favorite track on the album?
I would say my favorite track is Butterfly.
Oh.
Especially the ending. I have so much fun playing the ending.
Nice. What
Yes.
is this?
as depicted in the impressionistic crayon.
Concept art. I love it.
Right.
Jared, how about you? What's your favorite?
And it's really hard.
I'm sure. I know it's not an easy question.
Day, I think probably my favorite one to play is Swamp Daddy. It's funky. I get to take this just really just over the top solo in the middle of it, which I can't help myself. But also just like it grooves really hard, and we have this surprise barbershop finale. So
That's awesome. No, I can't wait. I haven't heard the whole album yet,
Surprise
so I can't
barbershop.
wait.
Yeah.
James, how about you?
I'm going to be unoriginal and say I Love You, But I Know You're a Robot, actually. I think that's probably my favorite one to play because it's just that kind of half Cars, half T-Rex kind of rhythm. That's just like a lot of fun to just kind of just set in and just play. And it just kind of, just from like how the band kind of all finally got together, it's just kind of a positive vibe. And just like thematically, like we got to use a lot of sci-fi references in it and reference a lot of old TV shows and things like that. So
Nice.
I love your
really
guitar
good
solo in
references.
that song.
How
my
about you,
favorite song.
Travis?
So I think my favorite one is the last track. We're really into brevity in this band. So the song is called Phlebotomist Suite Part 4, Why Don't You Give Me Your Blood? I wish I was lying.
It's no joke.
No, I know you're not. I know.
So our
As depicted, yeah.
depicted here, dramatic reenactment.
That's me.
I love it.
Nose to scale.
With the vampire.
I see it. I see it.
That was another one that was kind of like Swamp Daddy, where we had like I think Jared had some chords, and then we were playing it, and then James came up with this riff, and we just came up with the lyrics, and it's just so much fun to play. Like I get so hyped whenever we have played that one live, and I really like our idea is, because we started with part 4. Our idea is to do a different part every single album and eventually combine them all together. So like our next one we're thinking is going to be like part 25 or something ridiculous. And then we just have like an album full of these like random.
We'd like people to be able to
so.
piece it together, yeah, and make it seem like there's an overall narrative,
Right.
Where we have like the middle third of a narrative.
But let the record be clear. We are making no commitment to ever finishing this.
No commitment. Yes.
It's not happening anytime
Our
soon.
lawyers would like us to read this statement. We cannot do it.
There you go. You could have a contest and you could have 25 versions and say, okay, you, the fans, you tell us what order it goes in.
I love that. That's true. That's actually a better way to do it.
That's probably got us out of a lot of trouble.
And you have a writing credit now, Danny. You're in.
There we go. There we go. I won't even charge you for this free advice.
We should do this more often, can we?
What's this
There we
email? A bill?
Yes, there's an
Services
invoice.
rendered.
Oh my goodness. So looking forward into this year, you're dropping this. We're still kind of, like I said before we started recording, asterisk on everything about live music and everything. But what's your hope for this year as we get to it? I mean, I can already tell from all of you that you're itching to play live. I can tell just by how I enjoy playing this part and I love doing this. And with live music, it's never the album cut, right? You always get to do your own grooves and everything. So I can already envision, because I've seen especially Travis and Jared, I've seen you guys play before, so I know how you get when you're live. So so what would you say your hope is going into this year, whether it's just for what your band can accomplish or what you feel about the scene, anything like that? We'll start with you, Jared.
I want to do I'm really hoping that things clear up in time for this, but I want to do a crazy big Halloween show for 2021. I think that there's reasonable hopes that we'll be able to do that. And we had already been talking about big ideas pre-pandemic for what 2020 Halloween was going to be, but we can totally do it this year, assuming that things start opening up by then.
Asterisk.
Yeah.
Jay, how about you?
So to be honest, I mean, this is really my first gig with a band because I have another day job and I haven't been playing nearly as much live music as I've wanted to. So I'm just so excited to get out there and play. I really want it to just get to the point where I can play a lot of shows.
That's fantastic. Yeah, so we can introduce you to our wonderful music community. Seriously.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So
Travis?
I think for me, I cannot wait to play live and, just bands again. Like, I'm constantly just blown away by the Arizona music scene. And here, I mean, some incredible band that I'm missing live, and bands are still putting out music, which I love, and it's can't wait this music. I'm like just there and going to shows and just play, it's like seeing all of our music friends again. That'd be so nice.
It would definitely be nice. Yeah, for sure. James? Keep freezing
Everyone
up
else,
there.
I would add probably just well, very very lucky that we who were able to put some video together and do all of this remotely from far away. Our friends Garrett Johnson and Ben lost, but they be able to organize things without thinking about social distancing and things like that. So I suppose it would be, I'm looking forward to planning things without having to consider personal safety and COVID precautions and things like that. That's one bright spot on the horizon for me as well.
Oh,
and Disneyland. Yep.
I'm going to Disneyland. Yeah.
There's going to be two occasions where I bawl cry. One is walking into Disneyland. That's a fact. And then like the first show I go into, it's going to be nasty.
It's going to be really gross if you and I see each other at that first
We
show.
are.
It's going to be disgusting.
When I saw you at the library, I was just like,
seriously, I know. But for those who aren't in the know, he's at the library by my house. So, and thank you too, because you donated for our fall pledge drive. So I was dropping off the stuff and I saw you and I was like, I can't jump this counter. I'm not allowed to jump this counter. I can't hug anybody. It just, no. So yeah, I get it. It's just, you see people that and you're just like, oh my gosh, the emotion. You don't expect the emotion either.
Right. Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Right.
But all right. So the album drops on March the 15th, and the single, I Love You, But I Know You're a Robot, is going to be played right now in the 939 local spotlight. And thank you, Chrome Rhino, for being here and spending some time with me.
Thank you for having us, Dani.
Thank you so
best.
much.
We love you.
You're awesome.
Oh, I love you guys too. I will see you in the flesh soon, but no zombie flesh.
No zombie.
Exactly.